Welcome to The Twist. I'm Erika Grey, and today I am delighted to introduce Nermine Rubin, who is the head of Water for Mercy, and it's an incredible nonprofit. And we're going to talk to Nermine about her work. So, Nermine, you're this incredible woman. You have this background that is just stellar and what you're doing in these towns in Africa. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you started and where, and you're not very old, you're a nonprofit, so where it started and what you've achieved in the few years that it's been in existence?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Erica. And thank you for inviting me to speak with you about Water for Mercy. And truly, you're saying, how did it start? And I want to show you the heart. It's all about the heart because somehow my heart was touched. God touched my heart to do something about what I saw. And this was in 2017. Water for Mercy was founded in 2018. So we're just shy. We're actually at August of 2018. We're 5 years old, and truly, what we've done is really miracles. And what prompted me to do something is I'm African. I was born in Egypt. I guess when I went back after my daughter prodded me to go there and volunteer, what I saw put the hair on the back of my neck up, and I was incensed because what I saw made me upset when I saw what I thought were a bunch of lazy men sitting around doing nothing, and they were having their wives and children walking for many hours doing the work, carrying buckets of water on their head. And I was so upset because I thought, these guys are lazy. I want to get the men back to work. Well, when I came back to the United States after that, it just haunted me. My heart would not stop until I figured it out. And what I realized is they weren't lazy. Everyone in Africa, what I found out in many countries, they all own land. Okay. They've owned land for generations and generations, and they don't know how to grow food on their land to be sustainable. And the very first thing is, what are they waiting for? They're waiting for the rain. They're praying for rain. So what I realized is working backwards is it all started from the basic. We needed to start with water. And then that's when I started Water for Mercy. And basically we bring in water, food, and hope. And truly, how I say water, food, hope, we work with the world-renowned organizations in the entire world. And I am so proud to say they are from Israel. I work with an Israeli NGO, and they implement my solar water projects. Everything is remotely monitored so that if anything breaks, we know about it and is fixed within 2 hours. We have boots on the ground there, and this Israeli NGO has received awards from the United Nations for their technology and remote monitoring system. Innovation Africa, they're out of Tel Aviv, and truly their work is phenomenal. And then once you bring in water, what I learned is that water is great. Water is beautiful. Water, we cannot live unless we have water, right? We'll die if we don't drink water in 3-4 days, right?
Right.
But once you have water, it's amazing. What you see is how water brings all these opportunities. The first thing we see is, man, these men are making bricks. They're selling the bricks. They're now having dignity because they're building their home out of brick, and they're working, they're feeling good. And then I started seeing these gardens start to grow. And this is when I learned that we needed to work again with another Israeli NGO, which is Cultivate, which is tied in with Hebrew University. Because what I learned is that all of the crops that they were growing was basically filler food, and it was great to help their hunger, but it was not doing anything to bring them nutrition. So this is when we learned with Hebrew University and coming in, that we are now starting with the soil, making sure the soil has good nutrients, bringing in good seeds, so that now you're eating the rainbow. I don't know if you've ever heard that term, eating the rainbow, all the different colors of the rainbow. You get a red tomato, you get a vitamin C, you get an orange carrot, you help with the keratin. When you're eating the rainbow, you're optimal. You're getting the nutrients that are optimal.
I
for
like
you to
that concept.
grow.
I've actually not
Yeah.
heard that before, but that's a
Oh, yeah.
great.
And that's why you need to have a plate with all the different colors. You're getting everything, and it's beautiful. And then what happens is that you're getting nutrients to your brain, you're getting nutrients to your body, and then you grow optimal, right? Okay.
Yes.
So what I also learned is the same thing with plants. Plants are very much like people. So now that we're bringing in this optimal technology and the seeds and the nutrients, that tomato plant that we're used to yielding 20 tomatoes are now yielding 120 tomatoes. Okay. And now you're talking about they're gazunta, they're humongous, they're beautiful, they're nutritious, but they're plentiful. So now I say the green, I have an MBA. You don't have to have an MBA to do the math. When you're growing 120 tomatoes instead of 20, holy cow, that's a whole heck of a lot of green money. So this is where I say is the hope. These men that I told you I thought were lazy, they get up at 5 a.m. They're motivated. They make money. You get the distributors from the neighboring hotels that are 6-7 hours away. They come and they buy produce from our farmers because they're beautiful, they're nutritious, and they're perfect. I mean, amazing. I mean, so what I've learned is that when we work with this Israeli technology, we're now bringing in water, drilling down to the aquifer. We work with engineers, everything remotely monitored. Once they have water, we bring in agricultural innovation, including drip irrigation. For some of you who don't know what drip irrigation is, if you can imagine a garden hose, and there's a tiny little prick, a pinhole, and out of that little pinhole is a tiny little drop of water. Well, it's not just water. We add nutrients to the water. So now it's called fertigation. I didn't even know that word existed a few years ago. Okay. Amazing. So now this tiny plant, or that tiny little drop of water that has nutrition, is going directly to the root. So now that plant is optimal. So you're talking about optimal in many ways. So when I saw this, the successes of our villages, and now Water for Mercy has, just in Tanzania, one country, we have 12 villages that have over 50,000 lives that we've saved by bringing in clean water and now agriculture, and they're becoming prosperous. So when I saw this, I realized, holy cow, that's just Tanzania and one little area. What about this? What about this? Millions and millions of people need this. Well, guess what? You don't need people that look like me, even though I'm African. You don't need someone, you need the locals to do it. So again, we like to teach people to fish so that they can fish. So now that they're healthy and they're nutritious and their brains are great, we are now sharing this knowledge through a vocational training school. Another world-renowned organization happens to be Catholic. Wow. So now we're having the Israelis share Israeli knowledge through the Catholic vocational training school. And it's not just for Catholic, it's for everyone, because it's called the Don Bosco Technical Institute. And it's a vocational training school where we are teaching them to do it. And the infrastructure of the Don Bosco Technical Institutes is that they have to be self-sustainable. So they have tailoring. So they'll make you a custom dress, but instead of spending $250, you spend $25. So it's a win-win. That's a way for them to get money to buy more sewing machines. Again, they have a culinary department, etc. So now they have a water, solar, agricultural department, which they call ATEC, the Agricultural Innovation and Technology Center, where now you get a degree. And you could get a degree and you can work, or you could get a 3-year degree where you are now teaching the teachers. So again, we are sharing the knowledge so that it comes from within. So in 2-3 years, self-sustainability, where they are now teaching each other to teach each other to share the knowledge. So this is where it all starts with water, the basic need. And then when you bring in food, the basic need to help their brains, then you empower them. And this is, to me, the beautiful thing, that what we're doing, we're not giving things, we are teaching and providing infrastructure and providing knowledge so that they can do it. What I learned, Erika, is that, thank God my husband and I are blessed. And for many years, my daughter kept telling me, Mom, I want to go volunteer to go to Africa. And I'm like, are you kidding? I've been to Africa. I don't want to go to Africa. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Thank God we've got the means. Well, in the past, I learned I was doing a disservice when I was giving, thinking I was giving. Unfortunately, what I learned is a side consequence of what I was doing is I was enabling dependency. And that's not what we want. And when you enable dependency, all you're doing is giving them a handout, not a hand up.
That's a really good concept. I have a quick question though. You mentioned in the beginning Israel and going towards these companies or these the technology that Israel was offering. And it sounds as if you have a warmth for Israel. I'd like you to just talk about that a little bit.
Okay, yes, as I love Israel, of course. My husband's Jewish. I'm Catholic. Look at the dynamics. Egyptian. Okay, I lived through the war, I told you. And look, wow, what I learned is God's chosen people, as my husband tells me many, many times, of course, but truly, wow, you guys are blessed. The Israelis are blessed with know-how, technology, and advanced technology. And one of the things that we're doing, beautiful, we have a donor whose heart is for Israel, because what I've learned is that Israel utilizes technology as a means of diplomacy. So when Israel uses this as diplomacy, it's a way to have people's perception slowly change and people's hearts change. And one of the things, I don't know if you're familiar with the Abraham Accords.
Yes, that was going to be my next question. So I'm just going to ask the next question.
Yes.
The next question is,
segue in right into it.
Yeah. Now with what you're offering with Water for Mercy, how does it fit in with, because I know you've mentioned that it fits in with work with the Abraham Accords, and also the European Union has its agenda for the Mediterranean. So I want to know how what you're doing is possibly now going to fit in with the Abraham Accords. And also, are you doing anything with the EU's agenda for the Mediterranean, which is also looking at water issues? So now I'll let you talk again.
Yes, and actually, yes, and yes. Okay. And I said we started in Tanzania. We also have a project in Kenya. And since the Abraham Accords, one of our donors said, I want to do this as an agricultural diplomacy. And of course, me being Egyptian, I'm like, yay, let's, figure out where. I was hoping it would be Egypt. But again, I use experts, and through a lot of research, we decided the first place that we're going to start is Morocco. And we are currently in the process of identifying the exact place. And I'll let you know probably by the end of next week. We've identified a few places as well as local partners. And this is part of agricultural diplomacy. And it's interesting because every country and every area that we work with has different water challenges. And in Morocco, the issue there is irrigation. You can't, a lot of the stuff that they deal with there is desalination. And when you desalinate water, water, you strip all the nutrients and it's not good for agriculture. So one of the things that we're doing there is incorporating expertise from Israel, which has to do with desalination and bringing in local partners so that this could
Wow.
be a win-win. And in regards to the EU, yes, as I said, I work with the world-renowned organizations. One of them is Cultivate, and we currently have a proposal project in front of the EU that they actually approached us and they wanted us to submit a proposal for a project. So say a prayer, Erika, right now, because
Wow.
for us, we need funds. We need a lot of funds right now so that we can really expand and scale up and have our current systems really be sustainable.
I mean, this is really exciting. You just don't have a regular nonprofit here that's providing water. You're also working now with geopolitics and solving issues on a governmental level through the Abraham Accords and, of course, through the EU's agenda for the Mediterranean. And I know we're running out of time because I got a message and we're right at a core of this, but I would love to have you back to give the update on those proposals and what your work is doing, but also your accolades are just incredible. I mean, you have this incredible background in business, and you have a master's in health and science and business administration. I mean, you had a lot of know-how to even be the person to to execute what you're executing. I mean, this is just incredible. And of course, I love having you on the show. You're a woman. And this really speaks volumes for what women, you're a woman leader, you're recognized as one of the most inspiring women to follow in the year 2022. So I also find that, Nermine, very, very exciting.
Thank you. Thank you. And I know time is running out. And I do want to say is that thank you for the accolades, but we can't do it unless we get people to support. And
yeah, so of course, if you're tuning in,
yes,
they need support. I believe one of your endeavors is like $65,000
for a water, and then 35,000 bringing in agriculture. And then for the ATEC, our Agricultural Innovation Technology Center, we have we need sponsorship for our interns, and I call them interns, but they're agronomists, they're PhDs. So they graduate and they've learned theory. So now they want to come and work. And what we're doing is that we're bringing them from Israel and they're working side by side with the locals to share the knowledge. And again, we need sponsors for them as well as the locals. And this is where I say also for cultural exchange, like, wow, here I am, a Catholic working with the Israelis. I've got the Israeli flag, and half of the students are women wearing hijabs or jihadis. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like what's beautiful is that people of different colors, faith, whatever, coming together for what? Human dignity, because everybody needs the basic need of water, food, and the opportunity to work and have dignity.
Yes.
So waterformercy.org, please.
Yes, I'm going to have the link below. And also, as a courtesy, anytime I have a guest or do an interview, your channel will also be shared on this channel. So it'll be listed in our channels, our recommended channels. So you can also go onto her YouTube channel, subscribe, see the work that is being done. I know you just got an endorsement from Ambassador. Yes, from the Israeli ambassador, Michael Lotern, or Michael, excuse me.
I'm actually going to see him in 2 weeks.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Yes, in 2 weeks. I don't know when this is, airing, but on September 1st, we're having the official ribbon cutting of our school, ATEC, Agricultural Innovation Technology Center, which is sharing Israel and Kenya knowledge for agriculture. And that's on September 1st. We're doing the official ribbon cutting. And for those, I had a couple that has funded an entire water project. They contacted me yesterday. yesterday and said, "Dean, we want to do another one, but we want a challenge." So I'm saying, wow, if anybody has a heart, I have a challenge for $65,000. We're trying to match the funds so that in October we could turn on the water taps for a Saya village. And it would be about 1,200 villagers. So right now, I just found out yesterday. So we're going to try to do a challenge, for people to help us match those funds. So we really need more hearts to be touched to help us so that we can truly tikkun olam. I don't know if you know that term, but it's a Hebrew term that means repair the world. Tikkun olam.
Wow.
Well, God put all of us in our heart a spark, and that spark, that talent, that spark, when together we all use our talents for the good of the world, then all together we are going to make this world on fire for blazing and glory.
I love your optimism, but also I love what you're doing. This is an incredible project, incredible story. I'm excited to be doing just completed this interview. We're about to run out of time, so really excited. So definitely check out the link below, subscribe to Nermine's channel, and definitely I will have you back. Keep me posted so that if there's something late breaking, I can definitely
I'm going to say,
have you on. Excuse me, my dog is disrupting our show now.
But in a month, we actually have a book. It's actually already been published, but it's going to be released to the public in September. And it's a children's book that touches the heart. And it was illustrated by street kids and in Kenya.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Wow.
It's called The Most Wonderful Rain.
When that is published, let me know, because we on the Twist, we have an Amazon store. So every time we have a guest who is an author, or if they're part of an organization and there's a book that represents their organization or talks about, we share that book. So we would be happy to share that in our
I would
Amazon
love that
store.
And when I come up and see you, I'm going to give you a book signed.
Awesome.
Yes,
definitely. Yes. Okay, Nermine, well, we'll be keeping in touch, and I'm thrilled to have you and finally connect, because you were in Tanzania and you had no internet the last time we had scheduled. So this is very exciting. So be sure, folks, tune in, subscribe to her channel, donate. This is an unbelievable cause, bettering the world, bettering these remote villages in Africa. And this is exciting. Anyway, we'll see you again. Thank you again for coming on to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.